Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today we are actually talking about the United States immigration, and I am not talking about the wall on the southern border or anything like that. I'm actually talking about something that the State Department and immigration has spun up over the last week or so. Now, if you are out of the United States, meaning not a U.S. citizen, and you are applying to come into this country, you get a visa, and now in this visa application, they want to know the last 5 years of your social media use, what accounts you've used, names, all this kind of stuff, basically as part of the visa vetting application. Now, the State Department said in a statement on this, and I quote, "We already request certain contact information, travel history, family member information, and previous addresses from all visa applicants. We are constantly working to find mechanisms to improve our screening process to protect U.S. citizens while supporting legitimate travel to the United States." Now, in March 2017, this is where this stems from. President Trump had asked the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, and the Secretary for Homeland Security, and also the Director of the National Intelligence, to basically put into effect, and I quote, "a uniform baseline for screening and vetting standards and procedures." Now, this is a memo that has been obviously published since then, and requiring information about the social media accounts was part of that memo, and here we are, it has been enacted. Now, let's think about this. I can understand in part the government's logic on this in the sense that, let's say I am a foreigner, I am not a U.S. citizen, I happen to be, but let's say I have the last 5 years of my social media is death to America, and now I'm applying for a visa applicant. You kind of would want your country to know that if you've got a death to whatever country person coming in, that might not be somebody that you'd want to let into the country. But let's game this out for a second, because part of my job in cybersecurity is to evade detection, is to evade systems to see how I can get around them. And so I start gaming this out. I start thinking what I can do. I can delete my social media accounts. I can create fake accounts. Let's say I am part of a terror network and there are people there that basically have very clean social media accounts. Maybe one of those gets transferred to me and now I don't look like this. Furthermore, this also banks up the question or ramps up the question is, if the US government knows this, that I, Nick the terrorist, can go ahead and delete my account. My accounts are probably sitting on the major social media platforms around the world. Virtually all of them are US based: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and on and on and on. And so does this mean now the government has deep hooks into these social media platforms to start looking at the people that are applying? So in other words, if I am overseas and I am using Facebook and I have a visa applicant and I give my name, does the U.S. government, through the immigration process, is Facebook now allowing them in to look directly at everything that I've done, private messages, everything else? And if that's the case, then are we violating privacy by virtue of that? I think it's a very interesting thing to do. I think there is interesting logic behind it, but at the same token, if I'm looking at evading that system, I think I can evade that pretty effectively simply by just changing who I am, changing my persona without actually changing my name. And so I'm curious to know what you guys think about this. I think it's a very interesting move on the US government's part, and we're going to see where this goes. But as of right now, if you are out of the country and watching this, and I know a lot of you are, and you're traveling to the United States, be prepared to give up your social media account, probably the one you're watching me on right now. So take that for what it's worth. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.